Guys, this is PARM with Pro Box Respect TKO. Privileged to be here on a Saturday afternoon with Mr. Asif Vali. Asif, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, very good, very good. Nice sunny day here in Bolton and sitting in your front lounge, so I'm still pinching myself.
Well, it's not often I let people into the house, and I think with your job, what you do Monday to Friday, and you've been hounding me
Yeah, I have.
for an interview, so I thought, okay, Saturday, Bolton are playing away, and I thought, come on then, you've got your chance.
Thank you very much. So, as they say, if you don't ask or perseverance, so
Absolutely.
I appreciate that. Asif, for the people who don't know you, the viewers, there can't be that many. You're widely known as a boxing business advisor, promoter, consultant, and founder of Zach Valley Foundation as well.
Yeah, that's right. It's a varied role. Certainly, the passion is boxing, and I consult with various boxers. That's over the years, and some high-profile ones, some up-and-coming ones, some new ones, new talents. So there's a lot of things from the boxing side of things. So I consult.
Yep.
I've promoted myself with Dennis Hobson Promotions and Calm Promotions. I've done promotion shows, and then with the Zach Valley Foundation, it's something I'm passionate with. You sat in a very special room.
Absolutely.
Where this is where my son passed away with cancer, and it's something that I've been passionate about in trying to raise funds to help any young person who's passed away with cancer to pay for the funeral. So that is something that obviously we'll discuss, and it's not something that I don't want it to go well, but unfortunately we have been supporting a lot of families.
Yeah, and I'm sure those families are very grateful to the Zach Valley Foundation. Last year, I spent a bit of time in California. Was very humbled to spend a day in the McDonald's Foundation, who do some incredible work with sufferers, patients, their families, and just giving them that support, accommodation, somewhere to be close to the hospitals is amazing things.
And I was there. I lived in one of the McDonald's houses in Manchester. Even though I'm only an hour away.
Sure.
But the traffic and the commute and having other children, it was easier for me to stay, and my wife to stay at the McDonald's and the kids.
Yeah.
So it's good. What people don't grasp is you spend as much time as you can with your loved ones.
Sure.
So instead of being up and down the motorway, we had as much time as we could have had with Zach, and we were very privileged with the McDonald's Foundation, the McDonald's House, for looking after him, and it's only a donation they ask for when you stay there, and I've known some families been in there for 2 and 3 years, so it's a massive thing to families, especially when their child has got cancer.
I mean this with a lot of respect, Asif. I can never imagine. I've got 2 daughters of my own who I love very much. They're my inspirations. LZ, love you both. And I can never imagine ever losing a child. So can I just say that you're very, very strong. And what you're trying to promote through the foundation is amazing.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I think the boxing family have been giving me the strength, because I am, the profession I'm in, very lucky to have a sound sports family around me, and I'm very, very grateful to that, and hence the reason why when you set something up, you want to do something small, and my aim is to help 2 or 3 funerals. It only started off 9 months ago. We're going into our 10th month, but we've helped 15 families so far.
Wow.
So you can imagine how difficult it is for families, and you probably see me when I'm at the Dennis Hobson show, or I'm at a Kieran Farrell show. You probably see me trying to raise as much money as I can, and I say if I can raise at an event 1 funeral, that's I'm very, very grateful.
Sure.
I'm very grateful.
Is that purely through the boxing event? So this is where the help's coming from, the fundraising?
Well, I think the boxing events are there, and I latched onto them, and the other promoters don't mind me doing it. You know, I'm still waiting for the big boys to give us a call. I would love if Frank Warren or Eddie Hearn or they did something for me, or Mick Hennessy. You know, I'd love it if they did something for the foundation.
Sure.
Because it's much needed, and you know, the smaller whole promoters seem to be with open arms. Say, come on, you can come and raise the funds. And then there's other stuff that goes on with the foundation. If you look on the Zach Valley Foundation page and Facebook and Twitter, there's skydives, there's runs, there's marathons, there's events, there's dancing and fundraising by young, old people, schools, hospitals,
Sure.
everything. And that's the kind of things that we thrive on, to try and raise the funds that we can for these families.
So there's a lot to get involved in. Well,
Yeah.
we're on camera, and even if we can get a few more people come in, especially the big players,
Yeah.
you know, this has been worthwhile.
Thanks.
I haven't told. I don't want to sidetrack because this is very important. But funny enough, the way I ended up spending a day at the McDonald's Foundation in Los Angeles was when I was out there. I was sitting in a coffee shop, sitting next to a guy, and I was trying to watch a Anthony Joshua fight on YouTube.
Right.
And this guy leaned over and said, "Oh, you know, I like that. Isn't that one of your guys from England?" I said, "He is. He's Anthony Joshua, and this is before he won the world title." We got chatting, had a coffee together, and it ends up that he's the chairman of McDonald's Foundation in North America.
No way.
Would you believe that? I just randomly met him in a coffee shop. He was sitting on his laptop,
That's
I was
amazing.
sitting on mine, kept in touch, and that's how I ended up spending
That's
a day
amazing.
there.
And one of the things that I'd like to touch on, if I can,
Sure.
the Zach Valley Foundation is the first charity that helps pay for funerals in the UK. Not many people know that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's people that out there that do stuff to help other organisations who pay for funerals. You know, but the Zach Valley Foundation actually pays for the funerals of any child who passes away with cancer and who's got an oncologist. Unfortunately, my aim was to, like I said, pay for 3 funerals, went to 10. I've now said I will stop at 100. I will stop at 100 because somebody else needs to take over this foundation.
Sure.
My point is, I think the government should pay for these funerals.
Absolutely.
And I think the government should support families to pay for these funerals, because the horrendous journey the families go through, and I've been through that, and I know what it's been like. And once we get to 50 funerals, I'm hoping that all my friends, the boxers, the footballers, the musicians, all the people I know, the actors, everybody I know, I want them to back me and to get the government to pay for the funerals. And that's what I'm aimed to do. So that will be something that I'll be doing in the future.
Good.
And I'm hoping that the government, because there's a lot of money for the cancer research family, you know, there's a lot of money for research and all the other organisations, but it's the funerals when a child passes away. That is the must that the families need the support of.
Absolutely, and it's already heartbreaking, but it's must be an awful stressful day, and that's when they need the most help, as 100%. You say, 100%. In the boxing world, I'm sure there's plenty more, but for our purposes, I'm just going to say that 2 of your most famous clients that I know of is Amir and Tyson Fury.
Yeah.
We'll come back onto those.
Yeah.
I want to talk quickly about the young lads. Now, I know on the 14th of April, you've got a show at the Bowlers Exhibition Centre at Trafford Park.
Yeah.
3 fighters there. Osman Aslam, Khalil Majid, and Lewis Robinson.
That's right.
Yeah. 2 of them are debuts for 2 of the young guys, right?
Yeah, Khalil Majid and Davidson, who's been in the boxing scene for quite some time, from Bolton.
Okay.
Well known in the amateur scene. Unlucky in the amateur scene and not winning a title. Obviously, the amateur game is different, and you've got to have a lot of luck on your side to try and win a national or an ABA. But unlucky, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's been his dad's very supportive of him, and he's been under the radar for a bit. Took some time out. He got a bad decision in one of the championships last year. Took some time out, and they've been slowly him and his dad and I can say on camera because that's his trainer, Carl Thompson.
Okay. The former cruiserweight.
That's correct.
Yeah.
World champion. And for the last 18 months, they've been working quite well together, and
Good.
they've been building up on getting career ready. And as you know, you've got to be 18 before you turn professional.
Yes.
As soon as he turned professional, he applied for his licensing, and now he's got his license last week. So I was delighted to announce the signature of him, and I think that's going to be a great journey going forward, and I think he's going to be a very successful boxer moving forward as well.
Excellent. We're going to move on to Amir Khan, one of my favourite boxers. I met him, nice guy, humble guy, got some mutual friends as well. I saw something on Twitter. I don't know what to make of it, but it was a great video. It was of him running in Lahore. Yeah. Have you seen that video?
I've seen that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that just a promotional video, or is he serious about he's going to start his training there?
Listen, Amir's Amir. He'll start training anyway in the world.
That's
He
true.
wants to. But I think it's a good promotional video for Lahore and Pakistan to say, you know, this boxer not only just trains in the UK or US, but he does. When he's out there in Pakistan, he does train out there.
Yeah.
But I think it goes under the radar.
Yeah.
It's a hot country, as we know, and he's built up the Amir Khan Academy there.
That's right.
That's doing really well.
There's a lot of charity work there.
There's a lot of charity work going on there. There's been some shows that's been happening over there, and India's up and coming, and there's been some shows by Frank Warren that's been happening over there. So boxing in them countries it's delightful to see. And bear in mind, the culture is everywhere now, all over the world. So to go back into a country where it's, I've got to be careful what I say. It's not as enriched.
Sure.
In sport. And to go back and do shows, I think that's amazing. I think Frank Warren does an amazing job.
Absolutely.
In India. And Pakistan is now coming up, and there's a lot of good Pakistan boxers coming through from there as well.
Yeah, I mean, I've noticed the same with India as well. You know, they're no getting away from a bit like us and football. Their first love's always going to be cricket in those two countries. But it's nice to see the fight game in both of those countries coming through.
Yeah,
and
in a big way. I never thought you'd see that.
No, nor would I. 10 years, even 5 years ago.
Yeah, and people like Frank and Vijender Singh and Amir Khan should take the credit for it.
Yes.
And you know, the Commonwealth Games when good boxers coming through, and now what I call our third generation, where we are born in the UK and our children are now participating in the Commonwealth Games and the Olympic Games under the UK banner. Yeah. Still has some heritage back at home.
Absolutely.
In India, Pakistan, or whichever culture, like Nazim Mohammed.
Yeah.
From Yemen. So there's some culture there back, and I'm so glad to see boxing going back into the third world countries.
Absolutely. When we last spoke as well, and I know there was a bit of time lag because one of the things you was waiting on was make an announcement on Amir Khan's next big fight. Is there any update there regarding who you may potentially fight?
Well, you've seen the polls, I'm sure you
have. I have.
You've seen the polls.
I want to hear it from you.
Well, the polls are going around, aren't they? And the social media is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And I think Manny Pacquiao, I think Amir won the poll for the Manny Pacquiao fight in Dubai. I think Amir himself saying, okay, and tonight there's going to be a good fight with Avinition and David Avinition's fight in...
Is it in Vegas? It's not in Vegas.
Yeah, it's tonight.
Oh, is it tonight?
Yeah, tonight. Peterson.
Oh, Lamont Pearson. Yeah.
So that's on tonight.
Yeah.
The winner of that, obviously, Avinition's got the regular belt at the moment, and I think that's a cracking fight. And who knows? There could be a winner. There could be some history there with Amir to try and fight the winner there. And there's the Keith Thurman and
Danny Garcia fight.
Garcia fight in a couple of weeks. So could be somebody there. There could be a warm-up fight. There could be the Manny Pacquiao fight. There could be the Kell Brook fight, which Kell Brook's announced with Spence, but I believe it's not signed yet, so I don't know what's going on there.
But it's going to be a big fight, though.
It'll be a big fight.
Okay, that's good to know. I was going to ask you something there when you. Colazo's also put himself in the frame a little bit, but.
His fights got cancelled quite recently.
Yeah.
So Colazo's there, but listen, the options are there, and people used to say to me, and you know, Amir, where's Amir gonna go? Well, Amir's got a lot of options. It's when it's the right one.
It's come back to me. Is he still WBC mandatory for
Yes.
Danny Garcia?
Yes.
Okay, but it's only because of his hand injury, because he's been inactive.
Inactive, but
They-
it's still the mandatory challenge.
Right. So whatever the outcome of
Correct.
the 4th of March.
Yes. 4th
Yeah,
March.
4th of
Yeah,
March,
yeah.
same day as David Hay in Bellew.
Yeah.
So he'll still be mandatory.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So there's a lot of options available for
Yeah.
him. A lot of, and if Peterson wins tonight, you know, that's a great fight for Amir to go back into for a rematch.
Yeah.
If Avanicion wins, unfortunately, not many people know who David Avanicion is.
Yeah.
So it's a struggle with the money on that one to try and make that work. But we can always try and make it work as well if people's demands aren't as excessive or high that they think there is. And it's great at the moment for boxing because BT and Frank Warren's doing well with Box Nation. Sky's obviously doing tremendously well and bringing in the pay-per-views, and ITV have come on to the scene, and Channel 5 are doing what they're doing as well. So it's great for boxing. Never seen so many channels of boxing. You get sport for
100%.
choice sometimes.
Yeah, and British boxing's on a high, and we've got a record number of world champions as well. So you know, we're doing well. One thing I was going to ask you about, I'm going to have a sip of my water as well. Social media's out there, and obviously it's an easy way to get information out. Eddie Hearn's put his point of view. Not really seen too much from yourself, respectfully, but Kell's also said something about if the fight fell through with Amir because of the 70-30 split. Are you able to expand on that?
Listen, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again, and I said it on iFilm TV. And I think people fail to forget and grasp there was no 70-30 split. That 70-30 came from the Hearn camp,
Right.
the Brook camp. It didn't come from our side.
Yeah.
We was in talks with Eddie. I had some tremendous discussions with him, and the final meeting when Terry came up, Kell's stepfather came up to the Reebok Stadium, Macron Stadium, to what I was presuming to dot the I's and cross the T's. So everybody saying that Amir Khan's ducking him, that's rubbish. Why would Terry come up if we were interested in the fight?
Yeah.
We'd made the financial offers across. Obviously Eddie and Terry and Kell Brook must have discussed them. Must have. Because he's not just come up blind.
Yeah.
And they were happy with the financial guarantee that I offered them.
Yeah.
And that was a lot more than the monies that he had for the GGG fight. And if that was the case, and to come up to a meeting to cross the I's and dot the T's, I was under the impression that we were going to discuss the nitty-gritty of the walkouts and anything, and which none of that was discussed, by the way. No
Okay.
matter what Kell Brook said, none of
Okay.
that was discussed. So it was a very short meeting because obviously we had to put our finances across to Eddie, and we had to say what it might generate.
Yeah.
It might, and what the pay-per-view might generate. Bear in mind, there's a lot of boxing going on. No matter what figures that Eddie puts forward or Sky put forward, if it never got to that, there would be a loser in that, and that would have been both the boxers.
Absolutely.
So, the fairest thing to do was to agree the figure for Kell Brook. If he's happy with that, we move on, and Amir takes the gamble. If the figures on the Sky pay-per-view didn't go well, then Amir would lost money.
Yeah.
If the gate didn't sell out, Amir would lose money. and to take it into a 36,000 arena is a gamble. Does that fight sell out? Everybody says it sells out, but does it sell out?
Was you thinking of the Reebok Stadium?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Everybody says it sells out, but there's no guarantee. Nobody's going to guarantee that it's going to sell out.
Sure.
Yeah. Some fighters can sell the stadiums out. Kell Brook can't sell the tickets, and Amir's not fought here for a long time.
Yeah.
So we don't know if that would sell out or not. Everybody's presuming it sells out.
Fair point.
But we put it as a sellout.
Yeah.
We put them figures in, and we put the pay-per-view, and we put them figures in. But we would not know if we would have generated that sort of money. So ideally, Kell was under a guarantee. That's what he was. He would have been guaranteed his money. No matter what happened. And you've got to bear in mind, people doing the work need to get paid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Eddie Hearn needs to get paid. Al Heyman needs to get paid. Myself needs to get paid. And there's a lot of expenses going into an open air stadium.
Yeah.
And the TV and everything else, we have to promote the fight. We've got to put budgets to that. And all them expenses comes out.
And the TV companies like Sky, they want to make money from it as well.
100%. People don't realise that the Sky make money as well.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the case, where does the 70-30 come from? You tell me. Somebody needs to explain the 70-30 to me.
Well, unfortunately,
I've never said
the
70-30, and I keep saying, and Eddie keeps saying, when he's in discussions and negotiations with his fighters, he keeps saying, you as a fighter should be happy what you're getting. Don't look across the road.
Mm.
He should have given that advice to Kell Brook. And he did. And I'm not going to knock Eddie Hearn back for this, because he probably did. But the person that turned this down was Terry.
Okay.
Not Eddie. It was Terry. And I'm telling you straight. And people need to realise that the person that walked away from that fight was Terry. Not Eddie, because he'll pick up the phone now and say, let's make it.
Yeah, absolutely. He
probably want to see it. Asif, let's make it. I'm going to ask Terry and Kell to agree. He can do that. Yeah? Now look where it's got them.
He's got to fight mandatory now, isn't he? He's got to fight Spence Jr.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's a great fight.
This is a great fight, and I've said it myself. It's
yeah,
a great
as a boxing
fight.
fan, yeah.
As a boxing fan, I love that fight.
Yeah.
Who wins, in my opinion, and this is my opinion and nobody else's counts, Spence, I've seen him. I know he's a tough cookie. I know he can box. I know he's been avoided. And in my opinion, he wins that fight.
He's very slick, isn't he? He's
very
slick
slick
for Southpaw.
Tidy, beautiful,
powerful. Yeah.
Knows his stuff, knows his angles. Lovely fighter.
I love he's a humble guy as well, isn't he?
Very humble.
Yeah.
Very humble. And he has been to Bolton.
And
he
is he?
has trained here.
Okay.
Yeah, so people don't realise, but we know, you see.
Sure.
So I think that's a tough fight for Kell Brook. Especially after the knockout he's come back off.
Yeah, versus Golovkin.
Versus Golovkin, and who knows what his socket's like. So nobody knows about that, especially with a hard-hitting southpaw like Spence.
Yeah.
Would he make £3 million for that fight? No. Would he make £1 million for that fight? No. So all the boxing fans that are out there saying Amir Khan's avoiding it, listen, we've offered him the highest paid purse. Everybody thinks it's 50-50. 50-50 of what, guys? I'm telling you. I've been in the business and people say I talk bullshit. People say I talk crap. People say I talk... Listen, I'm in the safe game. I'm in the safe numbers games. I know to offer a highest paid figure to fight Amir Khan. And I'm telling you, I'm sat here, that Amir Khan and Kell Brook fight is a 50-50 fight.
Yeah. And plus, as you said already, you
it's
guys have to make money.
It's probably more riskier
for
Amir because he's been out of the game longer.
Yeah.
So give him a little bit more. Be happy with it, Kell Brook. Be happy with it, Eddie Hearn. Be happy with it, Terry. I don't know his surname, but it's not Brook. Terry. Be happy with it.
Yeah.
Be happy with it. Let Amir take a little bit more. He's fought 10 former world champions.
Absolutely.
10 former world champions. Who's Kell Brook? Sean Porter and one more.
And the fans are crying out for this fight. They want it to happen.
And if the fans want it,
Yeah.
don't have a go at Amir Khan. Have a go at the Brook guys.
And then
It's the Brook people that don't want it. And you know, look, listen, we have options, of course we have, but please don't say that Amir Khan don't want it. Amir Khan definitely wanted it. Amir Khan wanted it at Reebok Stadium. Amir Khan was taking all the risks to have it. Is it the right one straight after his Alvarez fight? Probably not, but he wanted it. Said, I don't want the guys to have a go at me.
Yeah.
And he said, come on, I'll put it out there. I've not been in ring. I've got a hand injury. I don't know, but I'll do it. Go on then, I'll do it.
Fair play to him. Yeah.
So you got to give him the credit.
Yeah. Well, he's never shied from a tough fight. So everybody says that about Amir Khan, and as you know, I'm a fan of his. Just moving on very quickly. Talking about other fighters, actually. Any of the current fighters that you enjoy? I mean, you're a boxing fan. Do you enjoy watching any of the current fighters? Maybe Spence is one.
Spence is one. I do like watching Spence. I think he's a classy boxer.
Mm-hmm.
I think the unknown is David Avanesian.
Yeah.
Unknown, because that'll be known tonight.
I'm have to tune in as well.
Yeah, I think he beats Porter.
Peterson.
Peterson. I think he beats Peterson.
Yeah.
I think Keith Thurman is a very, very tough fighter, very slick, and I think Keith Thurman beats Danny Garcia. And obviously Pacquiao has rejuvenated himself. He's back in the frame, so he's there. Floyd wanted to fight McGregor. I think Anthony Joshua's got a tough fight against Klitschko. I like Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
I think Klitschko, I think he brings a lot to the table, but
Depends on what he's got left, right?
I think he's got a lot left.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think the night in Germany wasn't his. It was always Tyson Fury, because Tyson got into his head. And I think that was a good tactic that Tyson had.
And the other thing is, not to underestimate, 90,000 people is a lot of people to come out to.
Correct.
It's a huge atmosphere. I mean,
but he's used to it.
Yeah. Well, he is, but
he's used to
Anthony.
it. Anthony's got to be careful.
Yeah.
And heavyweight boxing, you never know what happens.
Yeah.
And look what happened in Germany.
Definitely.
And if he's up for it, he'll go out and grasp it. If he's not up for it, he won't be there.
The other one name that crops in my brain is Terence Crawford.
Yeah.
I like Terence Crawford.
Terence is in the back door as well.
He is. I think somewhere along the line I see him coming up to 147 as well. So
I don't think he'll be far off now.
No.
I think he'll be, when he comes up, he'll make an impact in that division. But the 147 division, what a division that is.
Yeah. Talking about venues like, the Wembley and the O2, I mean, even in your own right, or even with the fighters, you've probably been to some amazing venues. What is there one that sticks out for you that you really enjoyed?
You know what?
Vegas, maybe?
No.
Huh?
Believe it or not, I'm an old school guy.
Okay.
I like the smaller venues.
Small hall, yeah.
The small hall stuff. And I really like when the crowd get behind. I mean, Ballers in Manchester, when Keenan Farrell did a show, there was nearly 1,600 people in there, and it was loud, and it was heavy, and it was great, and you can smell the old passion of boxing there.
Yeah.
But I also like the arena, Manchester Arena. I think that's a fantastic arena. And
Yeah.
I've promoted quite a few shows there, and I love the Manchester Arena as well.
It's got quite a big attendance capacity, isn't it?
19,000.
About 20,000, isn't it? Yeah. One other question I was going to ask you as well. Probably fair to say the Alvarez fight was probably Amir's biggest fight to date. Obviously, he's had big fights. I stayed up to watch that, cheering him on 4 or 5 rounds. I thought he boxed really well. Do you think, I mean, obviously there was the weight issue. Do you think there's anything he could have done differently in that fight?
See, I was involved in that fight, and that was about his previous team, and would I have took that fight? Hard to say. Hard to advise Amir to go up 2 weight divisions to do what he has to do. And I think, same with Kell Brook going up. Who we fought. Them weight divisions are there for a reason, and I know you got to take money fights, but maybe not as much as going up as much as that.
Maybe 154 for both guys, really.
Yeah.
Should be the limit.
And I think it's a shame when fighters have got to, let's be honest, they're giving. They've gone for the money.
Yeah.
And you know, the GGG and Alvarez will be. They've picked off two big names, haven't they?
Yeah, 100%.
And probably not right to do so. But it'd be interesting if they come down to 147.
Well, that's not going to happen. The other thing is, if you look at, even if you pick Alvarez at 154, as we saw against Liam Smith, come fight night, I don't know how he does it, but he's like 170 anyway. You know, maybe a bit more. So
Listen, they can balloon up 20 odd pounds, 24 pounds, 24 hours, no problem.
just overnight. So.
Just overnight.
Yeah.
The strength and conditioning guys know what they're doing, and the boxers know what they're doing, and that's why there's a full team behind boxers, and they know what they're doing. But listen, I think the weights are there for a reason.
Yes.
You can jump one, but that's about it. And I'm not keen on them jumping too big a weights to have advantage of for a boxer who's at a higher weight to pick off a name.
Funny enough, when we're talking about the, Kell Brook versus Amir, Kell Brook versus Spence Jr., Eddie's gone on record as saying that he would like Kell to fight at 154.
He's probably right.
Mm.
He's probably right at that, and I think he is right at that. And I think he's safe betting himself, and I think he's safeguarding himself, because if anything happens with Spence, people are going to say, well, he should have gone to 154.
Yeah, he should.
But realistically, give credit to Kell Brook to fight is mandatory. I think it's only the third time maybe he's fighting is mandatory. Could be the second, I'm not 100% sure.
Second, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was he fought Frankie Gavin.
Yeah.
Is it Bizier?
Bizier as well.
Bizier as well.
Bizier.
Yeah, I think Bizier was actually his voluntary.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And then Frankie Gavin was his
mandatory. Yeah.
mandatory. Frankie, not far from here as well. Just briefly on one of your other clients before, Tyson Fury, you mentioned. Obviously, he's out of the game at the moment. I mentioned to you off camera, I met his cousin Huey, who was saying that he hopes he's going to be back in 2017. Do you have an update on his well-being or his comeback?
No, that's my daughter. I don't know, sweetheart.
They're in a blue car.
All right, ask him to come in and take a seat. Sorry, guys. That's my little daughter.
Absolute priority.
Yeah. So it was Tyson, was it?
Tyson, yeah.
Yeah.
Fury, yeah.
Listen, I think I think Tyson is a phenomenal boxer, and I think what he's achieved in boxing was unbelievable. And I was very lucky to be part of that through Peter Fury, and I was fortunate enough to be involved in what he did and created history in Germany.
Yeah.
Will he come back? I very much think he will come back.
Mm-hmm.
Is it too early for him to come back in 2017? Possibly. But somewhere along the line he needs to make a decision. And the illness that he has of depression, unless you've had that illness, what it's like, forget the boxing side of it, it's the health side of it. And I think that Tyson's health needs to be, he's been fighting his demons all these years, and on a one-to-one, when you sit down and speak to him, what an intelligent fella, what a humble guy, what an amazing person. And he knows his history, he knows his boxing, he knows his religion, he knows everything. And I just feel, and I think that give him his time, that the media stay off his back. And I think he got treated very, very badly by the media.
Yeah.
And I think he got slated from the Oliver Holt interview, what he said. And I don't think people have got opinions. And I think like if Anthony Joshua said something like that, they would have maybe not as been as critical on Anthony Joshua as they was on Tyson Fury. And I have to be honest, and I think sometimes the media are very, very cruel. And when you are cruel, what you've just done is destroyed one of our best heavyweight boxers that we've ever had.
Undefeated 10, 11 years, yeah.
And if that's the case, that if that's how the media portray him to do that, then it's just, to me, it's just not right. And I wish him every,
100%.
a very speedy recovery and comeback, and I hope he does.
Yeah, ditto to that as well. Just very finally, I'm very excited because you mentioned this off camera. For 2017, you mentioned something about the Super Fight League.
Yeah.
which is currently doing amazing things in India.
That's right.
There's a lot of local guys from Gravesend. I'm going to big them up, from Dell's DFC, Cash Gill, Big Bro from Birmingham, who's over there, Bill Desange, guys you know as well. And you're hoping to do this in England, right?
Yeah, Super Fight League's been going for nearly 4 years now. Done many shows in America, the third biggest MMA out there. Then Bill Desang, the CEO, taking it across to the Middle East.
Yeah.
Then taking it across into India. Launched in India in January this year. Unbelievable numbers. The teams and the support that they're getting is fantastic, and the league itself, the league format, the way it's done, the way the matches are done. It's semi-final day today as we speak.
Yeah.
Semi-final day, and then there's finals next week. I think it's fantastic, and watch out for Super Fight League if you haven't seen it. So watch out on Facebook and Twitter. Look at the things that's going on YouTube and so on and so forth. Have a look at it. It's exciting. It's broadcasters in the UK are looking at it, and I'm aiming to kick it off in July this year.
Good stuff.
And I'm aiming to get the UK MMA boxers involved in it, and with the help of the team from the Super Fight League, we're aiming to do 8 to 10 consecutive weeks of MMA with the quarters, semis and the finals, and hopefully watch out, because there'll be a lot of noise made for the Super Fight League.
I can't wait, and
especially seeing your boys coming up.
Absolutely. The Gravesend boys.
Yeah.
We're going to be making some noise up here. Asif, on that note, it's a Saturday afternoon. The door's knocking, so that's probably little Zara. From me, thank you so much for meeting up today, buddy. And I wish you bigger and better things for onwards. All right, bud. Take care.